What is up, boyos? Welcome back to the Loner Cast, where we're spoiling all of Star Wars. And today, we're talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. I am joined here today by the one, the only, Nicholas Sapon. How you doing,
Hello.
sir?
That is my name. I am doing all right.
Nice.
I am just finished a show. Pumped from the show. You know, me and you used to play shows all the time.
Sure.
And we just finished a last week in game show. It feels just like stepping off the stage
It
at a
does.
rock show.
Totally.
Dude.
About the same amount of viewers as when we played in a rock show as well.
We need to go across the street and get a really big pizza for some reason.
Good times, dude. What a
Good
callback.
times.
Speaking of good times, Solo. That man had some good times back in his life. Before we get into it, I like to put fun facts, like in the middle of the show before we rank it. But this is a fun fact I think we should open with, because this is a very historic Star Wars movie. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know.
Maybe I don't. We'll find out. We're on this journey together.
Solo is the highest budget for any Star Wars movie, with a budget of $300 million, which is how much they spent for Avengers Infinity War. And I think Batman v Superman was $300 million. So insane. And it's always safe to assume that if your budget is this, your marketing budget is double. So 600 million was the budget of this. Let's be generous. 450, 500, right? Okay. The box office, and this is not just domestically, this is the worldwide box office of Solo, a Star Wars story. Can you take a guess?
200 million.
A little bit higher than that.
275 million.
It was $393 million.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is the first Star Wars movie in history to ever lose money. So that's just a fun fact for you that I
you know what okay, so I want to dive into this problem a little bit, right? I don't blame the marketing, I suppose, on it. I feel like the budget has to do with the fact that it changed directors a couple of times.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And they had to redo a whole bunch of shit. So that added to the budget. But not only that, it released after probably the most controversial Star Wars movie that had ever come out. Most dividing Star Wars movie ever. And so people just saw this movie. A lot of people are like, wow, they kind of ruined this whole thing. So now it's kind of in a bad taste in their mouth, and now they're going to ruin another character that people really like. So I'm guessing a lot of people are like, yeah, I'd rather not have them ruin that character as well.
Not only did it come out right after The Last Jedi, Rogue One came out right after The Force Awakens, but Rogue One came out a year after The Force Awakens. Solo came out 6 months after The Last Jedi. So I'm with you a little bit to a certain extent. I feel like this is definitely the era of the mismanagement of Star Wars. Disney has mismanaged the fuck out of this. I mean, even with Rogue One, which we haven't gotten there yet, that will be the next movie we talk about. But pretty infamously, Kathleen Kennedy kind of replaced Gareth Edwards at the end of that movie and brought in a new director to kind of finish out the movie. Mm-hmm. And with this one, they kind of completely redid the movie because originally it was directed by Lord and Miller, who I think came in to direct a comedy about Han Solo, and I think the heads over at Star Wars were like, we want comedic elements, but we don't want a comedy,
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that was the the bad part about it. The things that I read were the Lord and Miller were letting the cast improv too much, which was changing the shaping of the script, which was making Lawrence and Jonathan Kasdan, the writers of the movie, upset. Um, and that was kind of the trouble, I guess. So then Lord and Miller left, and they went and did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So it's kind
And
of
we got gold. We got gold because of this movie.
yeah. And
You're
then
welcome.
we got Solo, whatever the fuck this movie is. How do you feel about this movie?
I genuinely like this movie. I
Yeah,
genuinely enjoy this movie a lot. And I feel like we'll differ because you're like, it's all right. But I really like this movie. The cast is fantastic. The cast is so freaking good. Um
I'm
the
not.
characters
Go
are
ahead.
lovable and like the story, although it's very grand, it's also pretty good. You know, it's
Yeah,
probably not the best story to tell of a Han Solo backstory, but it does pretty good. You know, I enjoyed a lot of the visuals, a lot of the beats of it, um, and the way everything's kind of set up. It's more there's no Jedi, which I fucking love,
yeah.
except for the end where we get a little
It's not a Jedi.
snippet of Darth Maul,
Yeah,
but that was fucking hype. And I feel like that's how the Jedi should be portrayed in most of the shit that's coming out now. It's just like there's not Jedi, but when there is a Jedi, he's fucking badass as hell. Like bring it back to the original, like where Jedi was a myth, you know, episode 4 where he's like Obi-Wan is the only Jedi that ever existed. Like he's the only one left. Darth Vader is also of the same ilk, and then at the end you see him fight and you're like, fuck yeah, this is sick. I love that. I love that shit. You know.
I do.
What did you think of it?
You nailed it. I thought it was okay. Uh, I don't think this movie's like horrendously bad. You know, it didn't make me like throw up. There were a couple scenes that are like, oh my god, like when he's like, who are your people? But that's been talked to death. This
I
days
like that. I like that scene because he
really
gets a dad there. Han Solo has a dad.
that's his
And
dad.
that's the Imperial officer that recruits him
It's his
because he's
papa.
like, "Hello, son. I'm gonna give you your name."
But then later in the movie, he mentions he had a dad, but he kind of left.
Yeah.
So it's like he knew his dad,
Hmm.
but he left.
Yeah, that was a weird part where he's like, "Yeah, my dad used to work on these, but we don't talk about my dad," and it never comes up again.
Right. So weird. Yeah. So I don't know. That I think that's one of my biggest problems with this movie is like, do we need to know why everything?
Yeah,
Everything we know about
yeah, like the
Han
Chewbacca
Solo
scene.
was like
Yeah,
answered
Chewbacca.
like, oh,
Yeah,
how did he get the last name Solo? It's like, did we need to know? I thought it was
yeah.
just his last name. I
It's
don't
just
know.
his last name. Yeah,
And like the him calling, oh, I gotta shorten Chewbacca, that's too long. What if he just started calling him Chewie?
yeah. That makes sense to me.
Right? And
We
then
didn't need a scene for it.
did we need a scene where it's like, oh, this is how he got his blaster? I don't think we needed that. Like
Yeah, but that was like within the thing, within like a conversation, so I felt like it was okay.
yeah, I don't know. There's just like so much of that in this movie where it's like, oh, everything we know about Han was answered in this. Did we need to know the Kessel Run? Did we need to know, you know, how he got the Millennium Falcon and stuff?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Did we need to see the card game where he won the Millennium Falcon? Did we need to see how he met every single person
Yeah, it's a
that's important
little
in his life?
it's a
Yeah.
little weird. Also, I you could tell that this movie got completely redone because it feels very sterile. Like it just to
Hmm.
me, it feels like it's missing a lot of heart. Um, it
Really?
just feels so sanitized through a lot of it. To me,
Yeah.
if you feel different, I get it.
Yeah.
I can see like the appeal. There's some cool stuff. I think some of the visual stuff is cool. I think in particular one shot that like kind of stood out to me was the uh the Imperial ship in the like storm in the distance. Like that
Mm-hmm.
looked really
Yeah.
cool. But overall, I thought this movie was like really dark for no reason. Not like thematically, but like
Just
visually.
colors wise, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like super dark. I don't know why. And
But
also,
some of them, I mean, you get a whole bunch of parts that aren't dark, but the back end of this movie is very dark. Yeah.
yeah. Well, even like the lighter scenes, it's like just feels like needlessly dark for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what that decision was all for. It's like, yeah, kind of felt like a Marvel movie where it had like the older Marvel movies where it had like this gray filter on top of it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then you could also really tell with Paul Bettany, who I think is a standout in this movie because he's just
Hmm.
fucking great and he just went all out with the performance that he gave. But it's like, yeah, he's on this one ship because it was all completely recast.
Hmm. Yeah.
Originally, it was Michael K. Williams, rest in peace. But he was originally the villain, and they shot all of his parts. But then he got tied up with something. I don't know what he was shooting, but honestly, he probably saw the like poor production and was like, "I don't want to come back." Um,
Could
yeah,
be.
uh,
Could be.
very famous actor. You probably know who he is. He was on The Wire. He was in Community for a bit. Um, but yeah, I thought Paul Bettany was really good though. But like, yeah, all of his scenes are on this ship. Um,
Yeah.
and to go to the cast, I like a lot of the cast. I'm not sure I like the casting of Han Solo. I
Really?
don't think I like him.
I think he did okay. I think the writing kind of messes it
Yeah,
up a little bit
it could be that, but like I don't
because
know.
like they make like the thing that stands out to me in this to make this like not, you know, in line with what everybody thought Han Solo was in episode 4 was the fact that everybody's like Han Solo's the good guy. You're nothing like the bad guys. And like that's throughout the whole movie and it's like we kind of wanted him to be like a bad guy. We wanted him to have that past of like
Yeah,
he's scum and villainy, you know. That's why they find him at this pub in Moss Isley,
yeah, because he's
a
doing a
place
job.
for
Yeah,
scum and villainy, you know. And then in this whole thing is like you're the good guy. You're just trying to do good. Like you say you're bad, but you're good. And I feel like
that
that's
line
kind of
felt that shit felt so tacked on too.
it did.
Just
It
because it
did.
was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is Han Solo, so we gotta like remind people
We
that he's
got to
bad.
make him a
I
good guy.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have even thought about it if they didn't add that line at the end where they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm the bad guy." And it's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot in the original trilogy he kind of was like not a good guy at the beginning."
He was a bad
If they didn't
boy.
even mention it in this movie, I wouldn't have even thought about it though.
But
Cuz
in
it
that
feels so disconnected from who Han
in
Solo
that
is.
in that same aspect though, I feel like he becomes not a cool like bad guy, bad boy. He becomes like he thinks he's a bad boy and he tells everybody he's a bad boy, but in reality, everybody's just like you're just too nice, man. Like, you know, like he wears the leather jackets and he has like the chain and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass, and everybody's like, "Aw." You know, you
Yeah.
know, because that's kind of how it feels with like the Kessel Run. Like we made a great comparison. Like he feels like Uncle Rico from Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite. Like he cares. He's the only one that cares that he made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, and everybody's like, okay, cool. And I feel like that's kind of what this movie did to his character was like, oh yeah, I did this really bad thing, and everybody's like, that's not so bad, you know?
Yeah. Or it's like we don't believe you. And it's like, you know, the Millennium Falcon is like it's basically like an RV. You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
exactly, exactly. And they do that. They do that in Spaceballs. Even
yeah,
it is an RV in Spaceballs or a fifth wheel or whatever.
yeah. It's
So,
totally an RV, dude. It's got like the
hmm
living quarters and like yeah, it's an RV. And that was something weird about this movie too, where it's like, oh no, in this movie the Millennium Falcon is the shit. It's like I don't know, does it need to be the shit?
it no, I think it was the shit. You know,
Well, until
it
they
was the shit
fucked it up at the
until
end.
they fucked it up, and then it
Yeah,
never became. It would never was never the same.
but it was the shit. But then it is the shit later on. But yeah,
But
anyway,
is it? Is it
yeah,
though?
yeah.
Because it's always junk. Everybody always calls it junk, and
Yeah,
then
but
it's
then
like,
it ends
oh,
up
it's got a
doing
little junk in the trunk, you know?
but then it ends up doing some incredible stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's like a sleeper. It's like a sleeper
Yeah.
vehicle
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, that thing's a piece of crap, and then you get in it, and it's like, oh, there's some
Yeah, and
pretty dope modifications in here.
that's always the joke of it. Whereas like in
Hmm.
this one, it's like no, it is legit.
Yeah, it's before. It's the reason
But
it's the shit
I like the
in the
idea that it was
past in the
never
future.
actually the shit. It's always been a piece of shit. You know, like I like that
Yeah.
better than it like actually being cool at one point.
Well, I see. I like it
Like a
because
Dodge
Lando.
Dart, where like people are like Dodge Darts are so cool, but like Dodge Darts have always been stupid and not cool.
So the way I
You
see it
know?
is like so like Lando owns it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like shiny and clean. I feel like Lando is like a car guy who
Yeah.
had it, and it's like the Honda Civic from 1997, and it's all fucking decked out and cool. He's like, yeah, I got this nice kicker stereo system. I've got the VTEC engine and all these upgrades. There's a spoiler and underglows and stuff, and then you bring that into the future, and it's like that's still a cool car, but it's a junker. Like
Yeah, but then
it's
Han gets a hold of it and he lets his dog sleep on the fucking furniture.
yeah, exactly. And
Chewbacca.
hair gets everywhere,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Um
I
yeah,
like it. I
I
like the fact that it was actually like a really cool thing in the past, and now it's like
yeah.
a relic.
But like Alden Ehrenreich, the guy who played Han Solo, I just felt like
Hmm.
he's just like I'm Han Solo. I felt like he was like trying to do an impression,
Yeah,
but then like
yeah.
not, and then like I don't know, it just came off really stiff a lot. And it could have been, it all could have come down to script and reshoots, for all I
Hmm.
know. Like maybe the original version that Lord and Miller, like it was way more fun. Who knows? I'd imagine it's fun, and that's almost what I want from a Han Solo movie, where it's just like Han and Lando doing some shit together or something. Like that sounds way
Hmm.
better because I do love Childish Gambino in this movie. Fucking
Yeah,
the Dong lover. Um,
Dong Lover
although
at Dong Lover.
I feel like at times he's going too hard into the impression zone. Um,
Hmm.
but like every once in a while he'll break away from that and it's like really funny. And even while he's doing the impression and stuff, it's like it's pretty he's the funniest part of this movie. Him and his droid I just think are
Oh,
really
L3 is great.
yeah.
There's a couple of moments that I'm like, okay, with L3, but like the relationship between L3 and Lando is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good, and like you could see it. Like Lando is just so much of a fucking player that he also sleeps with droids.
Yeah, he just sleeps with
He's like
everyone.
down. He's down for whatever, which
Yeah.
makes the scene at the end of episode 9 even that much cringe, much more cringe. Where
Yeah.
he's like, "Do you know who your father is?" And she's like, "No." "Do you want to find out?" And you're like, "Ooh, ooh, no."
Oh yeah. That's like supposed to be his daughter or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that in
Or he's a fucking player. But
yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about that
Yeah,
weeks
we'll
from now.
definitely talk about that because I actually have some answers to that, but this is not the podcast for that. Yeah, I like Lando in this movie. I like that he has a fucking cape room. I think that's fucking
Hmm.
hilarious,
Yeah,
and I like it when Kira comes out and she's all dripped out in the cape. Looks immaculate. Love it.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Kira as a character, I really love the actress who
Hmm.
plays her. Not sure I
Yeah.
like that character. That
Really?
character is very confusing to me because she's like, I don't know. It just is like, were they just it didn't seem like they were just a fling. Like it seemed like they were in a
No.
pretty committed relationship, and then like 3 years pass. Yeah, that's a long time. But it's like, hey, maybe we step aside and you like tell me what's going on and like give me an update. You know?
But but the thing about it is like the thing that they did right in this movie is not go into anything that she did in the past. Like we don't know the fucked up shit she did to people in order to get where she is.
But to me,
So,
it confused me about their relation. It's fine if she's hiding stuff from him, but like it's just confusing to me. Like 1 second, it's like, oh man, I am so set. Like the whole premise of this movie is me finding her, and then we find her like, you know, a third into the movie, um,
mhm.
and it's just like that all comes to a complete halt, and he's just like, cool, all right, whatever. I don't know. It feels so weird, man. It's
Well, I mean, no, I don't think so because it takes a back seat to the actual like mission because their life is on the line. It's like, all right, our relationship can wait because I'm about to die.
yeah.
So
No, I
I
get
need
it.
to figure this out before we can
I
continue
get
this.
that.
And she's like, I want you, but also I'm invested.
I just
in
feel
this
like they
thing.
would have a conversation, especially when the guy, for some fucking reason, is like, "You have to go with them." I don't know why he'd do that. I don't know
I don't
why.
know why he'd do
I
that
don't know
either.
why he'd do that. But it's like, oh yeah, this guy you obviously have an attachment to. You should go with him. It's fucking weird,
Well,
bizarre.
that, but also she has like the Crimson Dawn thing, and he's like, I don't want to be linked to this in any
Right.
way. And then and then she's like, you're
Good
going
point.
with him.
Very good point.
That's the biggest thing for me. Like the biggest plot hole was like, oh, what if we went because we don't
She,
have a link to you? And they're
she could
like,
at least wear a
huh,
wristband.
yeah, yeah, you go with them because I don't know, plot reasons. I don't.
Yeah, because it's convenient to the plot, and we want
Hmm.
you to like talk more to Han, and
Yeah.
then have a big reveal at the end that you're actually like the ultimate bad guy, but not really. You're just like taking advantage.
Have
She's
have
to me, she's
have
kind of
you?
like the character in episode 8, the one who like makes deals with the First Order
Oh, yeah.
and the rebellion.
DJ.
Yeah, she's like DJ, where she's like, I'm just making
I'm in it
moves.
for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to survive, and it's easier to survive on top. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna make deals at the top. Like that's how she strikes me, because she does ultimately like let Solo go and all that stuff. So I like that aspect of her. It's just like their relationship is very confusing to me, where it's like, you guys weren't just a fling, just like have a conversation for a second. Like, what the fuck's going
Yeah,
on?
but
It's
it's
so
been
weird.
3 years.
Yeah, but
It's been,
still,
and
like,
you don't know how like anything's happened or what's going on. You know,
I get that, but like, I don't know. I
after
imagine,
3 years, 3 years is a long time.
but
I
like,
mean, I granted it's a Star Wars,
imagine
so
it's you and
3 years is not
Danielle,
really long.
and you and Danielle get separated because of the war or something, and 3 years pass, and you run into each other, and she's like, "Yeah, I've just kind of like figured it out." Okay.
Yeah,
It'd be weird as fuck, right? You'd be like, no, let's have a conversation at least. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck's
that is
going on?
true. Please talk to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you're
Yeah.
acting super weird right now. Like, we got separated not by choice. I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah, like if you moved on, that's cool, but like, let's have a conversation. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Hmm. That
It,
is okay. That's a good point. That's a good perspective, I
yeah,
think.
it feels weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Good job. I like that. So that's a good comparison. It was like, yeah, okay. Okay. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like granted, they probably weren't together as long as you and Danielle, but like they seem like they were together for at least like a year or something. They seem pretty
Yeah.
connected. It didn't
Hmm.
seem like a
Yeah, yeah.
fling.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get out of here together. Like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. They they're at least best buds.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's I don't know. To me, it's like it's an okay movie. It's not bad. Um, I don't know.
You know what I liked that I wish we got more of is the Beckett's crew.
Yeah,
I wish we got more of Beckett's crew because we get a little bit of them on the trenches and we get their personality on the trenches and then we get one job with them.
Guardians of the
And
Galaxy, far, far away.
yeah. And it's just like those are cool. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy like aspect of it. You got these certain people and their
Yeah,
flair. And I thought those characters were very strong. Like Rio has a very like
John Favreau.
yeah, he's got like this very strong character that like has been through shit that nobody else has. And I forget the chick's name because they don't really say it a whole lot. But her character is like dating Beckett,
Beckett. Yeah,
and it's like that's an interesting dynamic that we got going on. And it is it's literally Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah.
But I like that kind of dynamic of like a team that's been together forever, and we don't really get to see that as much as I would have liked to see it.
Yeah, they just
Um,
kill him really quick. And like
yeah.
and also like Beckett just is like over it. Like so quickly it seems.
Mm,
Like his crew
yeah.
dies and he's just like, yeah, okay. Moving
It makes
on.
sense for his character though, because like the whole character is trust nobody.
I
You know,
guess, but
he's
like
like
that's
everybody's out to betray you.
his fucking woman got murked. Like
Maybe he's got other women. Maybe he's been
yeah,
playing her.
maybe.
He's just a complete asshole. He's the Han Solo that we were all expecting to get. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't know. It just felt weird that like should have been more like, why'd you let the coaxium go? Like she died for this, but we never got like that scene. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he was just sort of
Mm-hmm.
mad that he dropped the Quaxim. He never like was like they died for this or whatever. It was just sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. We're moving on.
I think that would have been too dark for Disney
And
for
then
them to be like,
at the
they
end,
died for nothing, a scene
yeah.
like that.
But then at the end, the people who fucking killed them show up, and he like waves to me like, "See you later, guys. We're friends now." It's like, bro, they fucking killed
Oh,
the
oh,
Emphas
I
Nest
see.
guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Emphas Nest. Yeah.
it's like they're just like, "See you later," and it's like, why did Emphas Nest on this planet decide to have a conversation with you? But they would have a conversation on the train or whatever, or any time before that.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking weird. Instead,
It it is it is kind of convenient, isn't it?
dude,
Where they're
Emphas
just
Nest
like,
just went in for the kill. They're just like, fuck it, we're killing these guys.
yep.
It's
And they killed some of Memphis Nest guys too, like on
yeah,
that train.
true. Yeah.
A
Oh
couple
yeah.
of them died. So I was like, I guess it's more of like a mutual, just kind of understanding. Like, yeah, we were shooting to kill each other,
Yeah,
but
and
now
like that sort
it's
of thing,
understandable.
it works in the Suicide Squad, where like in the Suicide Squad they kill everyone and they show up and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we killed all your guys," because it's a comedy, and they're like,
Hmm.
"We're just gonna ignore that because it's funny." But this is not a comedy. You dropped the ball as far as comedy goes. You obviously said this is not a comedy. Got Ron
Right.
Howard in to make it not a comedy. So then when the serious moments come, it's like, I don't know, it's fucking weird. They don't address
Yeah.
anything. That's what I mean by this movie just feels sterilized and like it doesn't feel like it's saying anything. I don't know.
No, it's one of the, it's one of those things that's just kind of, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie and it's enjoyable for what it is, but it doesn't like do anything outside of that. It's like
Yeah.
it stays very safe.
Yeah, it doesn't it to me it doesn't really like expand the lore a whole bunch other than like maybe the Crimson Dawn guys and like I guess Darth Maul had his own like crew or whatever. And then I guess the Emphas Nest people like started the rebellion or something.
Something like that, yeah. Or the grandmother did. The grandmother in Infant's Nest, and then she died doing that, so the
Yeah.
kid took it over or something. I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. But then everything else, like it doesn't make me feel like I understand Han Solo better as a character or Lando better as a character or
Mm.
Chewie. I
Oh,
mean,
see, well, Lando, I get it a little bit more, because we didn't know who Lando was. He was just, a buddy of,
he's just like a rich friend of
he was just a buddy, and they played cards together.
and
But there was always something like there that they didn't like each other, and I think this movie does a good job at showing that. It's just kind of like, this is why they don't like each other, because they're not really friends. They're kind of like backstabbing friends.
yeah.
They keep each other around because they're useful, not because they're actually.
Now I'm gonna make a weird ass reference here. I don't even know if I should, but I'm going to anyway because
Okay, I won't get it.
why not? There is a musical called Rent.
Whoa, never heard of it.
We're jumping. We're making huge comparisons here. Okay, there is a
Okay,
musical called Rent. This is how I always imagined Han Solo and uh
really,
what
and
what's
Lando.
Lando? Jesus, I kept wanting to say Billy D. Williams. Lando. Uh, this is how I imagine them. Right? They used to be like best buddies, and then Lando secured a bunch of money, and when that happened, a weird sort of tension came between them.
Okay,
And like Han's always asking for money, but they're still like best friends. And the reason I compare this to Rent because that's like kind of how Rent is like they have that one rich friend in Rent where
hmm
they're all like trying to
and
reach
then he
out to him.
dies of AIDS. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they all die of AIDS. And
That's true.
uh but yeah, it's a weird comparison. But that's how I always imagine them. But in this it's like they kind of make them seek equal, but they still are like Lando's rich. We don't know why he's rich or how he's rich.
Swindling.
Swindling, I guess. Yeah, he's just doing cards. He's just a poker player. I don't know.
I don't know.
Just
And we don't get into that, but it's not Lando, you know. a Star Wars story.
Yeah,
So,
right.
but I like their relationship in this. I have to say, like I liked the fact that it wasn't what you said. It wasn't a rent relationship. It was literally just, hey, we need your help, and I'm going to be buddy friend with you until I don't need to be because we don't really need each other. I don't like you, you don't like me, and then he does the same thing. You know, I like it. I like it. They're just partners that they're like work buddies. You know, it's like I'd never hang out with you outside of work.
And they're like more alike than they like to admit and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that vibe from them. I've always gotten that vibe from them. But they're like they get along so well because they are kind of like the same dude, but they don't like to admit it.
hmm
And they're from like different wealth classes, but because you know, fucking Lando has his own fucking planet, basically. he's like
Well, he's got yeah,
he's like a fucking governor or something in episode 5.
something like that. Yeah, we'll have to watch it. He says something with about it. I don't remember what it
Yeah,
is.
he's like the leader of Cloud City. Like
It's like a mining thing that he's been a part of or something
yeah,
that he takes over. It's weird. It's weird where he goes to in his entire career. We go from this to him saving, Ray,
right.
and
He feels very disconnected in
very like his
episode
arc
9.
is just so crazy
He
from this
doesn't
to
feel
episode
like the same guy in episode 9.
9.
It's
No.
just like hiding out on a desert planet, and it's like I don't think Lando would do that.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think he would
Yeah,
do that.
there's no way. Yeah.
Uh, anyway, do we have anything else to say
I
about
don't
it?
think so. I liked it. I liked it. It was good.
You got any fun facts?
I've got a couple here.
All right.
Harrison Ford revealed that he's seen the movie and thinks it's phenomenal, but skipped out on the premiere with the rest of the cast because he didn't want to steal Alden Elric's Eric
Alden
moment of
Ehrenreich.
glory. Ehrenreich. Moment of glory. Alden Ehrenreich brought his copy of the Millennium Falcon's owner workshop manual to the set to talk about button sequences for takeoff scene of the Falcon.
Cool. Do you think we'll ever get a payoff for that Darth Maul stuff, or for Kira's
I hope
character?
I hope so, dude, because in the comics, I don't know if you've read some of the comics, but Kira is like a fucking boss. Apparently, I've seen like snippets of stuff,
Oh,
and
so they're
Kira's
just answering all that in the comics.
I think it could be she's in the comics, and her character's sprinkled throughout, and she seems like a fucking boss.
No,
So
I really only read the High Republic stuff, so I haven't read any of
gotcha,
the other stuff.
gotcha.
But that sounds cool. I would like to see where her character goes because I think it's like
hmm
I think it was handled poorly, but I like where
The
she ended
direction.
up. You know,
hmm
it's
hmm
like also the dice are weird, man. Like
Oh yeah.
the fact that he had this like thing with his ex girlfriend, and then like he's like, oh yeah, just give the dice to Leia in episode 8
Yeah.
is just sort of weird. I
I
don't know.
feel I feel like because of episode 8, they retconned a bunch of shit in this movie. And it's like, oh shit. Now we gotta like
There's not enough
fill this.
time. There's
We gotta fill all this in because what the fuck are these dice? We've never seen these dice. Like some eagle-eyed fans have been like, I wonder what those dice are. Like two guys are like, I wonder what those dice are from.
they still don't
And
really even answer where the
now
dice
they
are
kind of
from.
have to explain it. It's just like good luck, charm. Like that's all it is. It's
Yeah,
like okay, great.
it was fine in episode 8. It's like I didn't need an explanation. It's like yeah, those were just Han's dice. It's just like a
Yeah.
small, subtle reminder to Leia, like this is who you're doing it for or whatever, or
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah. Got some more fun facts. Dryden Voss's facial stripes were added in post production. According to Paul Bettany, he didn't know about them until he saw a photo Ron Howard sent to him.
Oh hi
Um,
Shawnee,
hey puppy,
Shawnee.
Shawnee. um,
She's part of the podcast now.
yeah, she sure is. Uh, This is the first Star Wars film in official canon where nobody speaks the word Jedi. I respect that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Han speaks to Chewbacca in the Wookiee language.
That was stupid.
Uh,
I hated that.
it's the first time a non-Wookiee speaks the language, and the first time the language is transferred on screen with subtitles. I didn't like the subtitles part of it. I felt like the subtitles part of it kind of ruins the
Yeah.
like charm of the Wookiee, Wookiee language not being translated. Um, it's just kind of like understood between them.
But could you imagine if fucking Luke Skywalker went up to fucking R2D2 and he just went, you know,
Yeah,
it'd be weird.
yeah.
I don't like it.
Beep boop 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 beep.
I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah,
It would. I feel like that was probably a holdover from the Lord and Miller thing when it was a comedy,
oh yeah,
you know?
could
And
be,
it's like, yeah,
could
in the
be.
context of a comedy, maybe I'd like it better, but
Yeah,
also like, I don't know, what's Chewie doing there? How long's he been there? I don't know. He eats people? Has he eaten people? I guess so.
yeah, yeah. I guess he has. I
He
guess he's eaten
he definitely eats
something, whatever they feeding him.
he
Because
definitely
they're like,
eats porks.
he. Yeah, that is true. He
He
definitely
does.
eats porgs,
Uh
and maybe humans.
maybe humans. He definitely ripped the arms off of that one guy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't eat them like little drumsticks.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Chewie I see why they did what they did. Like, oh, he's the big monster and it's like, oh, we get to see
Yeah,
Chewie.
it's kind of a callback to like the Rancor.
Yeah, and like that was neat, I guess. I get it in concept, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like my Star Wars brain. Like I just had like my own head canon of like
Hmm.
they just sort of met doing things together. You know, like they were just
Like he would have been on like Beckett's crew or something,
yeah,
and
like they
Han
were
just gets picked up by them, and
just he was just another scoundrel or bounty hunter
mhm,
or whatever, you know. And
yeah.
now it's I don't know, but
But
that
with the prequels, I don't think Chewbacca would have become like something like that. I feel like Chewbacca knows that like Han is just kind of retarded, and he's like, I got to look out for this guy
but like
because Chewbacca's like a fucking war general, right?
sure, but like I feel like he, you know, when the Republic crashes, it's
Right.
like you got to do what you got to do to survive. And
Yeah, I
Chewie's
mean, his people were going into like slavery at that point or whatnot.
yeah, and so like he just does what he does to survive. That's what I always thought. Chewbacca just does what he does to survive. And just like
Yeah.
Han, he's got a heart of gold, you know? I would have loved it if they were just doing some scoundrel shit in this, and then you get little glimpses of like he helps like a kid who falls down or
Hmm.
whatever, you know?
Wow. A kid that falls down. So
I don't know. I don't write
I don't
movies.
I don't know.
I don't write movies, dude.
But you could write a better Star Wars movie if you wanted to.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just
No.
yeah.
I got a couple more. Tobias Beckett wears the guard disguise seen in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, when Lando wore it, an attempt to save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. The disguise is likely stored on the Millennium Falcon, which is
I
how
I noticed
he,
that.
yeah, pretty
that
cool.
that was
Same. I mean, that's hardly like as everybody noticed that.
he's also
It
wearing it
was.
in episode 9. Lando is.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Remember he's wearing
Um,
it and then he takes the yeah.
Ron Howard said that one of the best experiences on this movie was directing Chewbacca and getting a hug from him.
Oh yeah. Dude, Chewbacca was luscious in this movie.
He
Also,
sure
remember when
was.
Chewbacca and fucking Han took a shower together? That was weird.
That was hot.
That was
That was
weird.
hot.
Why'd they
They're
do that?
bros. As soon as that happens, they're bros, man. Bros for life.
Once you touch tips.
Once you said, yep, in that tiny ass shower. Um. mm, okay.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of the fun facts. Covered a lot
Sure.
of them early on, so
Yeah,
uh
that's true.
let
That
me
is
uh
true.
let me pull this up here. here's our Lonercast live action Star Wars ranking. At number 1, we have Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. At number 2, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. At number 3, we've got Episode 1, Phantom Menace. And at number 4, we've got Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Nick, where are you going to put this, man?
Am I gonna put this? I'm having a hard time. It either goes underneath Obi-Wan Kenobi or it goes underneath Phantom Menace. That's what I'm saying. Where would you put this? Would you put this at 5?
Honestly, just somewhere beneath Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know.
Did you like it more than Phantom Menace on this rewatch that we've done? Do you think you had a
uh,
better time watching this than you
I think
did
it's hard
Phantom
to
Menace?
say because I have like such nostalgia for like episode 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so like I think
That's
I
where I'm at. That's
I
where I'm
like
at as well.
watching them more than Solo, but I think as a movie, it's probably
It's
better.
better. It's probably better. We'll put it under Obi-Wan Kenobi then.
Yeah, let's just do it.
That seems
Let's
fair.
be controversial. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, Obi-Wan is
Whoever you
like
are.
it's so much better than this, I think.
See, it's I don't know, man, because there are parts of Obi-Wan that are very bad. Like giant plot holes, just unexplainable, like Darth Vader lets him go. It's just like, okay, this is kind of stupid. Um, whereas this movie's kind of it feels like a story that's told and not played out too long. It's like this is the story we're going for. Whereas Obi-Wan's like, we got to throw Leia in here, and she gets caught by people because she's outrunning people in the woods, and they make like terrible decisions. Like there's a bunch
I
of
mean, I feel
weird
like the
shit.
Leia scene gets really blown out of proportion. You know, it's one scene, and ultimately she does get caught. They just put it in there to pad out the length, I think. Like,
Yeah,
ultimately, it doesn't affect. Like, they could have cut that scene for sure, and it probably would have been better. But
I feel like
there's
Obi-Wan.
so much good shit in Obi-Wan. Like the
Yeah,
scene between him and Vader, and like with the half,
yeah.
mask, and
Oh well,
like
that's the best fucking scene.
yeah, and
You
there's
know?
no scene like that in fucking Solo. Nothing comes close to that. And
No.
like, just Ewan McGregor in general is just so fucking good in that
I
show.
feel I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi would have done better as a movie, like a really long movie, than a show. Like a
Yeah, yeah,
3-hour movie. I feel like it would have been pretty good
yeah,
if they just cut the fat off of a lot of it.
y-
Because there's a lot of
yeah.
fat in there
I think I would have preferred either a movie that tells that story or a show doing something completely
doing
different.
something else. Yeah.
But like, I still think like I like where they took Riva. I liked her character. I think what they did with Darth Vader kind of like made him really menacing, but then also
Oh yeah.
kind of explored some of that stuff between him and Obi-Wan. And like I there's just like a lot that I really like about Obi-Wan that I just can't think of anything that even comes close to that in Solo. So
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
like
All right.
Solo, like on the whole, is just like eh. There's nothing like overtly like just horrible about it,
No.
but it's got nothing that makes me go, wow, I can't believe they did that.
Hmm.
Even Rogue One has
Yeah.
some of those.
That is true. Yeah, Rogue One. Rogue One's really good, and we'll get into that
Oh, we're gonna
next
have
week.
a talk, but I haven't watched that movie in a while, so maybe my opinions have changed on it.
Oh man.
So yeah, Solo, a
Yeah,
Star Wars story at number 3,
nice.
and next week we're going to be watching Rogue One, and it's
Hell
gonna
yeah, we
be
are.
it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the greatest time of our lives, like sand through an hourglass. These are
I fucking knew you were gonna say that.
the
The
days of
days
our
of Star Wars.
lives.
Yeah,
uh,
the days of our Star Wars.
Star Wars. Ray Park, he was in the movie.
He was. He was in the movie. Cool.
Moms.